All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at TMFF, watching How to Be Deadly as part of National Canada Film Day. I had a whole introduction ready and set to go here, introducing everyone, but I'm just too damn excited. I want to bring them right on our call, so let's do that. All right. So joining me, we've got director Nik Sexton. Next, Nik, if you just want to wave hi. Yeah. Brenda, Gina Squires,
Hi.
and Donnie Dumphy.
Woo!
How you doing, bye? That's about the extent of my Newfoundlandese. Thank you, all of you, for joining me tonight. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Nik, when I reached out to you and asked if you'd allow us to screen How to Be Deadly tonight, and you agreed, and you even offered it up for free. So thank you so much for that, and for arranging this Q&A. It's fantastic. We had about 260 people join in to watch the stream of the movie. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So that's amazing.
Now Donnie Dumphy's mad at me because I did it for free.
Oh, man.
Nothing is free.
Well, I think too, like, you get more people to watch then too. I think that more people that see the movie, the better.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let me get the Canadian Film Festival thing out of the way. The National Canadian Film Day is a day that happens every year for I don't know how many years now, and it's coast-to-coast celebration of Canadian film. Obviously, for me, this is an awesome homage, if I can use that word, to Canada. And before this Q&A, Nik and I were just chatting. He was saying that, he was happy that I enjoyed it because there was a lot of like Newfoundland references in there, which true there was, but I think there was a lot of things that were just beautifully Canadian about the whole film, and that made all of us, I think, could relate to that. So I just wanted to ask you, this will be like the foremost serious part of the conversation. Why do you think that it's important to have a Canadian voice in the film industry? Who wants to take a stab at that?
Oh, Nik can do that one.
I would say when we set out to put a Newfoundland voice in the film industry, and a Canadian voice too, but yeah, definitely, Newfoundland humor is what we sort of set out, I think, to do. That was the ultimate goal. Why is it important to have a Canadian voice? Like I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of films, Canadian films, and they have, and I love them, but they have like American money in them because they want to, like, just in case they might get accepted to some film festival and break. And we didn't do that. We wanted to be like unapologetically Canadian, Newfoundland. So I don't know. I think it's I think one of the biggest assets in Canada is the comedy. Really, I mean, some of the best comedians in the world are Canadian. So I think it was just we were just trying to add to other Canadian films that I mean, I was a big fan of Trailer Park Boys and Fubar and those guys, and all sorts of. What are some other ones we watched growing up? I mean, you think of any other? Well, Cogco, all the members of Cogco are in there. They never got to make a film, but they were like, that was kind of our idols growing up, for me anyway, in Newfoundland. So, yeah. But I hope there's more Canadian comedies. That if someone watches this and goes and makes a really funny Canadian movie, then it's worth it right there, I think.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, I think like we sometimes, at least I feel sometimes our Canadian culture feels overshadowed by our neighbors to the south. So it's so refreshing and important, that we tell our own stories because we've got a lot of them. And yeah, there is something about Canadian comedy that's just hilarious. Yeah, I loves it. So I'm glad you guys made this movie. It was much appreciated. I just want to mention, if there's people that are you're watching this from Facebook or YouTube, if you want to have a comment for our panel, or if you want to ask them a question, just type it into the chat, and then we'll bring it up on screen, and then they'll answer it. Um, what was your experience, Nik, taking this movie from a short to a feature? Because originally it was like a 15-minute short, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. We made. I talked to Gina and Leon and Ian Sanoban, who helped write the short, and a few other people. I think Ed Rich helped too. And we talked about making a short movie. The plan was, let's make a short movie, get some headway with that, and then hopefully it turns into a feature movie. And then that's how that came about. So we shot the short, I think, in a week, not even, and it got into some festivals and got some noise, and that sort of led to the the feature getting made.
Mm-hmm.
So and then who's this? I'm in the right place, right?
I don't know. Brad Godspeed.
Hi, Brad. So the short, we sort of knew that from the beginning. That we wanted to make the short in order to make the feature. I don't think anyone would in their right mind would give us the money to make the feature right away. So the plan we set out to do was to make the short, which would get some eyes on it, and then that sort of, developed into the feature.
And this was your first feature film, right?
Yeah, this is my first.
So what was it like moving from like a short to a feature? Like, there's obviously a lot more moving pieces to it, a lot more people, a much bigger effort. What was that like, taking that on?
It was insane because I don't think I realized at the time, when you write in 30 speaking characters, they're all there, there's a lot of moving parts, and it was a lot to take on, but we had like a really good team, and we're, as Gina was saying earlier, we're all really close friends, so that helped a lot. We already kind of knew each other, so that was a big help. But it was.
Can I say?
Yeah, hop in.
And for Nik, you just talk about making a feature film, but he had to deal with. We were texting even earlier when we were watching the movie about coming onto this call, and myself and Donnie were like, okay, where's the link? What do we do? And it felt like 5-6 years ago when we were doing the movie, like we really leaned on him, because a lot of us, it was our first time making a movie, being in that environment. We were just kind of.
Wait, Brenda, we before?
Yeah. How it developed was just really organic. So we didn't have a lot of experience, and Nik just really guided us through. So it was a lot more than just getting a movie made. He had a lot of people who it was their first time in that industry, and helped us through it, and it was a great experience. So good job, buddy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. This was like, I dropped out of film school, so this was almost like a bit of my film school in a way. I'd worked in comedy on Rick Mercer Report for years, so I knew that genre pretty good. But yeah, I mean, we had Ian on set with me, Ian and Miles on set. We had there's always groups of people making this movie. Like, it's funny because we'd go off and shoot Leon scenes, and then we'd go and shoot the girls scenes, and different camps would hear like, "Oh man, the girls killed it. The girls are so funny." And then that would get Dumphy going like, "All right, we gotta do our thing today."
There was a lot of friendly competition.
Like going around flattening Dumphy garbage can.
Yeah. Or like, there's so and so. Oh man, Sean Dalton was so good in his scene. We gotta, the next one is There's a little friendly competitive comedy going on.
Yeah, there was.
How did you assemble this cast? Honestly, the cast is just amazing. You must have had a hoot just making this movie from start to finish.
There was some really fun times.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
So the two girls, Trina and Terry Lynn, who are who played Brenda's best friends, they're my best friends. So we're in a group. We've been on a group text for probably since texting existed. So we're just that kind of just happened because we just have that chemistry with each other, and to be able to. And they live away. One lives in Halifax and one lives in Toronto. So they came home for the movie. So that was so much fun. But they're my actual best friends who I'm in touch with. They're texting me right now because they're watching.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Donnie, you're awfully quiet, man. I don't understand. This is
baked,
not like
man,
what
I'm
I'm
baked.
expecting.
Still 420 over here.
Did you say it's still 420 over here?
Right, once I get going, you can't stop me. So
Okay.
yeah.
We got a comment here from Flutterball. It says, top film out there since Fubar 2.
Woo!
We're going to be spreading the word.
There's a Fubar too?
Apparently.
Thanks, Butterball.
Butterbean.
And Donnie, here's another one for you. Brad Godspeed says, just watched it with my 2 young teenage boys. My youngest is mad and Donnie lost extravaganza, but they both had a lot of fun. Good times.
What about the boobs, man? The boobs. That's not out.
My young boys.
Best part of the movie.
Here's another one for you, Donnie.
I know he was baked.
Yeah.
I think we just reached out to people. I think maybe all the members of Cogco were in it. Mary Walsh, Kathy Jones, Andy Jones. Am I missing anyone? Greg Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when people hear that other people are signing on, that's sort of snowballed for us, I think.
And Nik, there was cameos. Everybody, it was funny because I forgot when I was watching. Your mom was there as a judge, and Gary was in it, and Edwina was in the bingo hall.
Joey's in it twice,
and a couple of our buddies are in there, like as judges in the dirt bike competition. Like it was just personally watching it. You're just, it's like a yearbook. Yeah. Really, it's just so it's awesome.
When you guys first watched it together, like after it was made, was it in a private setting or did you all watch it like in a big theater together?
We watched it in a big theater together, I think 30 times in a row.
Yeah.
We went right across the country and toured, and then we played shows at night at local bars and pubs because we play music as well. We got two rap albums, kind of comedic, of. We do that at night, but we went to the theater after theater after theater after. We watched the movie 30 times, 40 times, whatever it was.
It was crazy. Yeah.
That's why we haven't seen it in 5 years.
Yeah.
Sense. But I could imagine the first time you saw it, you guys must have all been bawling for sure.
That was unreal.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I still get even like I said, this was the first time I've seen it in a long time. And I guess I even almost appreciate it more. Because, like I said, it was just kind of a snapshot of a really fun time for all of us, and something that we were a part of. What was it? It's 10, 15 years. How many years since we did that first video that we put on? Facebook?
It was like almost 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. 2005. We did that first video, maybe 2004.
Before, but I had an apartment on Gower Street, and Leon lived right across the street from me. Like we could open our windows and wave to each other, and that's when we did the first film.
Parked in the front porch, leaking gas. Of a downtown house, Victorian house, with no.
And I didn't. Funny story is, what happened was I'd met myself and Nik were out the night before, and we were downtown having a few drinks, and he was like, "Listen, I got this idea, and Leon's going to do this thing, and it's going to be a riot. And I got this idea for you, and I've got this purple suit. Would you be interested in, putting that on? And we're going to do like a skit tomorrow. It's only going to be like 5 minutes or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so I had all these ideas, and I was going to do, because I knew it was like an 80s vibe. So I was going to like crimp my hair and do this big makeup thing. And we stayed out really late. And the next morning, my phone was ringing, and I was like, "Oh God!" I said I was going to do this. I was like, "I really don't want to." And I finally answered my phone, and Nik's like, "We're outside. I got the purple suit ready for you. Come on, we're gonna do it." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I said I was going to do all this stuff with my hair. So I just went in the bathroom and opened up a few drawers. I found a scrunchie, and I was like, "Well, I'll just throw it up my side pony." And that's how that whole side ponytail vibe happened. It was completely
amazing.
Out of lazy.
I love that look though, with that surf style.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That just reminds me, when I was just watching the movie now, there was a scene where you guys were walking into Donnie's grandma's house, right?
He can't hear. Donnie can't hear. I don't know if something going on with that.
He's
You good,
I
Donnie?
can't hear.
He
He
can't.
smoked weed.
I can't hear nothing.
We can hear
Can't
you.
hear nothing. You guys can hear me though?
Oh, we can hear you. He's
Okay. Not sure.
No, I can't hear nothing. 1 second.
What if you go turn it?
Maybe press the volume button.
Yeah, I'm trying everything.
Hang up and I'll call back in and I'll add you back in.
I'll text him
Oh yeah,
that.
oh, yeah. I'll write it down. I'll write it down on the Etch a Sketch. Oh yeah, check.
I'm gone.
No, come back.
Donald.
Hang up.
Text him, yeah.
Okay, he'll come back in and I'll add him in. I was just saying that when I was just watching the movie now, there's a scene where Donnie was walking into his grandma's house with the crew, and I noticed, and this is only funny for me, I guess, but there was this hallway runner. I have that same hallway runner in my house right now.
Really?
Yes. Yes, exactly the same one.
Was that your comment? Was that you? Someone said I have the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
Hey, you're back. Can you hear us now?
Yes, my alarm keeps going off. I had to shut it off because every time it goes off, I got an iPhone, man. I don't do the computers and nothing. Rick says I loses everything, I flatten everything.
Well, welcome back.
What's your alarm set for?
I can't tell you that.
What is it set for?
It's to remind me of things because I got no memory, right?
10:45.
Yeah, and this is the remind me that it's 10:02.
Something important happens at 10:45 at night.
What's that?
Well, his alarm just went off. I'm still trying to figure out.
It's a lot important. It's whether I'm getting ready to go downtown or not.
Oh, okay.
That's the cutoff. It's either hop in the shower, go downtown, or put on the pajamas and hang with the cats.
And go to bed. Yeah.
John Rowe says, shout out from Goose Bay, Labrador. This by far my fave family. Helped me through many bad days. Always made me smile. Mad support to you guys.
Awesome.
John.
Hi, John.
Goose Bay.
Goose Bay, buddy.
You done shows in Goose Bay?
I've done shows in Goose Bay, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a few things in Goose Bay.
And Ron McClay says hello down here in the States. Loved the movie. Canadian humor was awesome. Cast was excellent indeed.
Hi, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Ron Phenomenon.
That sounds like your cousin Ron.
That's my cousin Ron.
Oh, we've got a follow-up question here from John. Any ideas of a part? I can't make it out, of a part 2 and in the movie short film The House Brenda Lived. I lived there before.
Oh, so that was the house on Southside Road. Is that right, John? You can bring back.
Yeah,
he lived there. Southside Road, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The short film. Yeah, I was there. So.
You were there.
I think it was Cody's. Was that Cody? Is it Cody his landlord? I wonder. You know, Cody. What's Cody's last name?
I don't know. I just went where you told. I didn't even know who owned the place.
Oh, sorry. I should mention my mom is the producer on this film, Mary Sexton, and she does a lot of the locations. So she's really good. She's really good at getting into places.
You got us into places.
She is.
Or thrown out.
or thrown out.
But most times, got to say.
I lost all control here.
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, that house. You notice that runner in the hallway of the Nan scene. That was a house that a little old lady passed away, and she and the daughter owned the house, and we went and looked at it, and we said, "Great, we'll just take it as is," and we just put a few things on the wall, and it just looked like Nan's kitchen. So that was
nice. And
that scene that was ad-libbed when Tom, the quiet Tom, starts doing the sugars on the table. That was ad-libbed. I remember. Mind
your teeth now, Tommy.
I think I'm pretty sure Leon ad-libbed a bunch of funny stuff. There's a lot of funny, like everyone in the cast all brought a little improv to some sort of scene. Like some of Dumphy's best moments were like Torch coming, not now fuck off, Torch. Like there was just really good improv moments that helped button up scenes, I found.
And Nik played was Ron.
Yeah, of course.
I
had one of those hockey helmets growing up.
The peeing scene. You should ask him about that.
All right. I was wondering about that. Like, did you really pee, or did you just like have a water bottle thingy over there? What happened?
We talked about rigging up something, and then the talk was just getting way too much, and it was like, this is going to cost way too much money for someone to focus on that. So we disagreed.
And then how were you going to get that in your pants when they were locked up?
And you would have seen the line because the pants were really And so they said, so I said, okay, I'll just piss myself, and and this is the stupidest thing I've done, because I do it, but then my hands go behind my back, so if you watch it, I the pee starts coming out, but then my hands go behind my back, so it looks like I'm actually like hitting something, but that's pure urine. That's
method acting.
How can you do that on demand? Oh my gosh.
What happened? Were you there, Leon, that day? What happened? I don't remember.
You were holding for a bit. You were a bit nervous about it too. So, and the jeans right too. So,
I was chugging water the entire time.
Did you have a backup set in case that backup set of jeans or a change in case that went wrong?
Yeah, there was. So Lauren Leslie, the lovely wardrobe, we talked about it at length. She's like, okay, so I live around the corner. There's a shower there. You come straight over there, take them off. I throw them in the laundry, and I got an extra pair here. So that's what we did. We had and she had them. I think she had them back to me like washed and dried in like a half hour kind of thing.
Perfect.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Because when you said that you really did pee, I was like, okay, who's responsible for taking the jeans, the soaked jeans, carrying them to a laundromat?
I would have been a lot more hardcore if I just went on with my day.
It wasn't that day, and you did let him dry for a bit. Tell the truth, and we did go for lunch.
Nobody would want to be around you.
He stays well hydrated, so there wasn't much of the snow coming off him.
No. Smoke coming off the urine.
It was a bit steamy at first.
You didn't drink water.
Was it
well hydrated.
I think it was the first film we did. The very first day we shot with the bike on the short film.
Yeah.
The motor died. Remember that? The very first. All right, we got people standing around camera, and we were going down the hill. And we were like, man, the motor's gone. And we had the motor. What was that?
And she started fluttering, and then we got a loan of another motor off someone else and threw it in, and it had like twice the horsepower. It was awesome. It made it that much more fun. I was like, oh yeah, I get to ride around on this on film and just have fun. Woo!
Yeah, I think that actually helped your wheelies in that first one.
It definitely did.
Like they popped it right up, from the power on it. Yeah.
What happened to the bike? Where is it?
Still got it out in the shed.
Do you really?
Runs perfect. Yeah, it's probably down to about 1 horsepower now. So I'm gonna buy a new engine for it, I think, and start a motorcycle gang for the summer again. So
sick.
I was on it with him this time. Maybe this time last year we did a charity event.
That was another bike. I got a loan of one.
Oh, was it? Okay.
We broke the gear shifter off it.
Okay, but yeah.
Tell them about what it's like when you guys are doubling on the bike, because people can't imagine really even one person. What?
I'm up sitting on the tank, so like the top of the tank thing fits, in a bad spot. So I'm just on that tank, dangling my legs, getting a good leg workout. She's in the back, she can't even see around me or nothing. So
I know. I'm just on the back feeling guilty.
She just has a couple of smokes and look at her watch.
I'm like, he must hate me. He must hate me.
Were you riding it, or was it like being pulled on a dolly?
Mostly riding it, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think maybe was it in any kind of dolly at any point, Nick? I don't think so.
Not with me.
No.
But the funny thing is, in the Having the Time video, because I'm so hidden behind him. That was how he got that one shot when he goes, "I don't mind" on the front, and then I pop out, and
I go to the one side and you go to the other, yeah.
And you wouldn't even know I was there until like that, yeah. Because I always feel bad for him because I know like it's got to, and he's tall. I'm 5'2". How tall are you?
That night we were going across Southside Road, and we just had to keep on going with the flare. That was the best leg workout I ever got in my life. I think.
Yeah, he's really got to. He's really got to, like, he's got to sit up front, and his knees are kind of up to his chest, basically, and he's got to stay that way and operate the bike and keep me alive. And I'm just chilling.
Just chilling on the back, like, yeah.
I feel guilty about it. Yeah.
So you had a motorbike that had a dead engine, like on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Any other good stories from the making?
Oh yeah,
You
the
hurt his leg, didn't you?
What?
Leon hurt his leg. There was
Oh,
like
yeah, I heard about doing wheelies on the Sakamoto Master.
Yes,
He
he hurt
did.
his leg at the bike comp. That was scary. Luckily, it didn't break anything. We threw the Honda in the pool that night. They actually like slingshot the real bike into the pool, and we had to get someone to drain that bike so it was ready the next day for shooting.
Mhm.
That was fun. The drone we had a drone guy come in from California. Like this is sort of before drones were everywhere.
Yeah.
And we watched a skateboard video called, I think it was Pretty Sweet. Robert McIntosh was the guy's name, and he goes, "Yeah, I can come down and fly a drone." He goes, "What's it like down there? Is it windy in Newfoundland?"
No.
Yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit. And you know, this is before he had to get permits and all that, and he's flying it over like, there wasn't a lot of people around, but the thing came down crashing, and it wasn't his fault. It was. There's a lot of CB radio users downtown, and I think there was CB radio interference, so that was scary. What are some of the things that happened in the movie that were?
I think too, but just navigating. Like there was a lot of people. We had the guys from PEI over, and my two girlfriends in, and a bunch of people. A lot of people who hadn't seen each other in a long time. Together for these 3 weeks with 6 a.m. call times.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, oh, what's that? Is that you?
That's Legos. Is that you? Looks like me, doesn't it? I'm going straight. Still 420 over here, boys.
Merch. But yeah, that was it's nothing bad. That's what I'm trying to say is that was a miracle that nothing really bad happened because we were,
You bring all these people together.
After filming as well too, and people were always on the missing list. So there's a lot of stuff we can't really talk about. So.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff we want to hear about.
Yeah,
there was people missing.
Summer with the sun was splitting rocks every day. We're with all of our friends. It was really hard not to go drinking every single night, and some people did. So
and our location was McPherson, right? So it was some of the crew. It was a high school, and it was the high school was obviously. Closed, and it was just that's where we had all our our wardrobe room and filmed the scenes and the offices, and this was some of the crew and cast was their old high school, so it was a lot of checking it out, and it was like just a really fun location, and everybody was just it was a really, really fun time.
You didn't have to leave. You were fed all day long. Everything was cool. There was a bunch of rooms you could go in and hang out in. We could go practice our lines, eat a feed, get away from everyone, go up on the roof and smoke bats, whatever we wanted to do.
Which apparently is normal on a film set, which we didn't know. We were like, oh my God, look at all this stuff they're giving us.
And plus we were all best friends, so it was like just deadly.
Actually, if the school Gina's talking about, if you look at the dirt bike competition, that's the parking lot. If you look behind it in one of the scenes, like there's a building behind it. That's an old school called McPherson School. Is it knocked down or is it still there?
I think it might be still. Is it still there? I'll have to go check it out tomorrow.
But we shot scenes. We shot scenes in there. Like we shot the social worker office in there. We shot the scene with Faded Freddy's bedroom. Like so, as if the two. Mary Walsh is downstairs and she's talking upstairs. There was that bedroom was actually shot in the school. So they were never in the same room together. Although the communication feels like they were. I thought that was quite fun. The two of them talking.
Yeah. How long did it take you to make the movie from start to finish?
I want to say, I mean, we'd shoot 5 days. We'd take 2 days off. And we did that for, I think it was about 20, 25 shoot days or more. Then there's always little, like, get little B-roll days. We had like just a bike day. We had just 2 drone days for that opening sequence. We had to go get a pool shot. One time we just had to dunk Leon in a pool out in CBS, like indoor pool with and our Sam Price Phillips, luckily is a good sport. He went in and had the camera rig. So as if he was floating underwater in that other pool scene. But yeah, I think 25, 26 shoot days. I think in Canadian films, people always say, you know what, Nik, why why is it Canadian films always suck? I go, they don't suck, man. But I think that if we had more days to shoot, then we'd be way further ahead. Like I know people that try to shoot films in 3 weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I talked to someone who's working on a Guillermo del Toro movie, and they're like, oh yeah, 80 shoot days, and you're like, so it's budget and time really. But if I think ours was around 25 days ish. I don't
that's still a fair amount of time, but it's amazing still that it was pulled together. Like on one hand, 25 days is not that short. On the other hand, it's amazing that you were able to pull it together in 25 days because it's a lot. You had a lot of different scenes there and a fairly big cast, right?
Fresh. Yeah, we were all starting fresh. Most of the actors never acted before, and just getting into our own for a little bit. We hung out for a few days at first and went through a few things, and then the first day of shooting, it was just all new. And luckily, we were able to pick up most of the crew from all the local films and stuff that were all going on. So all of them had experience and stuff, so they were like kind of leading the way. So it was a good team effort for sure. It was wild at first, but then by the end of it, you were missing it and dreading that it was going to be over.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah, I heard someone say making a film is like opening and closing a business. It's like it's so stressful and it's so nerve-wracking at first, and then once you get going, it feels so good with your, you know what I mean, when it's doing well, and then the end is coming, and then that's so sad too. So
dragon.
Yeah, I would imagine that after being together for 25 days like that, like from morning till night, especially since you mentioned that you guys were all like close friends, when it was all wrapped and you split up and went, back to your everyday lives, it would kind of you'd be feeling like you're missing something, I guess, right?
Big time.
Yeah. It was, I mean, Gina and Leon lived there, so they sort of dipped back into normal a little bit, but Jimmers is from Ontario, the guy who owns the Fantasy, and those guys literally lived in that Fantasy. The two guys with the beards,
all day long,
all day long. And I'm like, you go, you guys smoking in the van? And like, no. And I'm like, you weren't. No, we weren't. And then
the cigarettes weren't props. Like, there were supposed to be cigarette props in the ashtray, and they were actually all full of their butts from smoking all day. No need for cigarette props.
And we had to get in and shoot. And then Adrian Mottram, the gaffer, he's like, man, hasn't stopped smoking in this van.
Everyone had a headache.
Yeah. And sorry, back to Dan Jimmers. He was supposed. I think he missed his flight home 3 times. He didn't want to. He didn't want to go home or didn't want to. Go home.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Jimmers and the character that played Tom.
Yeah.
Tom.
Dennis Kavanagh.
That deadpan stare that he had was just awesome.
A funny story. The scene when we're all in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first
time.
Sorry,
where, Brenda? Say again.
In the bar, in the nightclub when everybody was.
Yeah. I'm just teasing you. I just wanted to hear you say.
When you make out with Versace.
That's when I made out with Buddy. Anyways, that was my first time filming with Tom. His name is Dennis, and we affectionately call him Cabbage. That's his nickname. So I didn't see him on set the whole time, so I didn't know what his vibe was. I didn't know that he was doing this kind of zoned out character, and he was doing it really well.
Mm-hmm.
We were shooting, and I was looking at him, and his eyes were kind of rolled back in his head, and he was really vacant. And I cut the scene because I was like, guys, something's happening. He's going to pass out. Like we have to get some help for him. Like I didn't know that this had been going on for a week or 2 beforehand, that this was just the way he was. But he literally was. It was whites of his eyes, and he was completely still and kind of looking like he wasn't all that stable. Did it so well that I was kind of asking for help at one point.
And it wouldn't have been unusual for someone to go down on a scene like that. Yeah.
No, I was like, he's not good, guys. They're like, no, he's been doing that for about 3 weeks now. We're good.
Yeah. I think it was at the Scampers scene. It was at the fish and chip scene. And he looked really like I said, just look like you're baked, because that was the intention of the guys, because they just came from the van. And he was like, it was just immediate comedy. When you looked in the monitor and saw his face, you're like, oh my God, keep doing that. And I guess he took that note, Gina, and just applied it to the rest of the movie.
I was like, oh my God, he's not.
It was great.
He's not doing okay.
Yeah,
what's he like in real life, like outside of the character?
Opposite, probably.
Complete opposite, right?
Yeah, he doesn't shut up.
He's quite vocal. We grew up with him skateboarding. Like he was always like a bit older than us, or the generation up from us. But he still skateboards to this day. He works on the Coast Guard now. He's a
really good skateboarder, absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Really
Doesn't
good
look like
guy.
clean shaven. Like, yeah, he's not. He really went all in for that character.
He did a great job. I think it was Ian Sandoban who helped me cast him. Because at first we had other names for that character and other people we had in mind. And I was like, man, who are we going to get to play Tom? And Ian goes, because I think there was he saw photos of his beard. He goes, dude, have you seen Cabbage? That's like, and I talked to him on the phone and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. that was it. That was the extent of our conversation. I described the character to him. I said, basically, the idea is that you're this tenant in a van, and you're basically paying room and board for this like little bit of room, this little bit of thing in the back, and he bosses you around, and you're basically mute the entire film.
Did Dan and Dennis know each other previously?
No.
Wow,
no.
They were good.
They hit it off.
They did.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with all of these characters? Because it wasn't just like, one or two standout characters. Like the whole, everyone had like some really interesting little quirk, whether it's obviously Donnie, Brenda, everyone in the cast. It was amazing. Like who wrote all of that? And how did you come up with all of these awesome,
it was
unique people?
It was myself, Ed Rich, the other writer, Ian Sandoban, the writer, and Leon, really, I think, and Gina, of course, helped with like mold in her crew as well. But I think Ed Rich had a lot to do with, like, he was the first to ever say Donnie needs an arch nemesis. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, and we were like, that was the first time I heard that, and I was like, yes, and his name is, and I think we asked Leon, go, what's his name? And Leon goes, Versace.
Who came up with that?
We ended up with the name Versace.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That was like instant too. That was on the short. You were like, I remember. No, that was Scarbacci.
Scarbacci, yeah.
It was. Yeah. Oh yeah. Instant.
Usually that's what we'd always do. We talk about characters. We go to Leon. What's his name? And then he'd go right away. And he'd have a name. Like he wouldn't even blink, and he'd have the name. Like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ask me what I had for breakfast.
What'd you have for breakfast?
I have no idea.
But but who else was there? There was and I think in Gina's crew it was Brenda, Trina. And then Annie called me. Annie called me out of the blue and said, "I want to be in your movie." And I was like, and then she sent me an audition tape as Terry Lynn. And it was so funny.
I texted Nick when we were watching the movie that when she was doing it with the straw.
Yeah.
And she was like, that ain't cheap. And she got the straw. Yeah, and then face plant. And then she does the interview at the end. She has the black eye, and she's trying to be like, "This is Terry Lynn." So good. And then Lisa, the Trina character, that's one of my dearest friends, and myself and her had actually gone to a cabin. And it was my husband's grandmother's cabin. And they had all these tracksuits and all these, and myself and her actually, this was before the movie. I think Brenda had already been in existence, but we just kept trying on the grandmother's old tracksuits and kind of bantered with each other and came up with the name Terry Lynn. And it was just something that we always did together. So that was something that was probably already established. Maybe, I don't know.
And Lisa Richards, who plays Trina, she brings some of the best improv. Like, if there's some great stuff that never made the film. I think it's in that lead up we did. She has a great thing about, the first time I met Brenda, well, what was the line? I can't remember. It was about
it was in the short, and she was actually pregnant.
Like Oliver Scrunchies.
Oh yeah, it was like Oliver Scrunchies, but there was another part where she was because she was pregnant and she was holding a cigarette in her hand, and you were like, how come you're not going to smoke that cigarette? And she's there with like she's like, because I don't got a light.
The scrunchy scene was pretty awesome too, though. I really liked that one. The 5-2 600 scrunchies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Salt
think
beef scrunchie.
Trina's line was, "I met Brenda in kindergarten." Well, the second time I did kindergarten. That was the line, yeah. Yeah, the scrunchy stuff was Gina really brought that hard. That, like she said, yeah, earlier.
Well, the thing is now is that scrunchies became so back in style now that it's not as funny as what it was when it was, like in
still
2013. Yeah.
It's still funny. Got a question for Ken. Who came up with the Waterbed Brewery idea?
I'll take credit for that. That's not fully my idea. I was at a party years ago downtown at Steve Carew's house, and a guy showed up. I won't make mention of names, but a guy showed up, and he's a bit of a skeet. He goes, "Boys, I got some water. I got some homebrew made," and we knew we didn't have like the proper equipment to make homebrew, and someone was drinking like 2-liter Pepsi bottle of homebed. So someone goes, they go, "Hey man, how'd you make this?" And he goes, "In my waterbed at home." And like,
that's a true story?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's gross.
That just evolved, and then we talked about it. We talked about waterbeds and just like, and my uncle Mart, he built that bed, and he actually found the waterbed, and he rigged it so we had a little keg behind it, and And then Sean Dalton, he played Faded Freddy. He's the drummer. He was the drummer in the Trues, and he flew home for it. And he just like really dialed in that whole. Yeah, he took his time. He took his time and like have a talk. And he really bought him and Leon's chemistry in that scene was
so good.
So good, yeah. It was really.
Brush your teeth with a hammer, I see.
Yes.
He goes over looking through the blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't like that though, for real.
All those things are based on things we saw as kids, like that guy with the homebrewed bread at the party. The paranoid drug dealer who sprays the Febreze everywhere he goes. It was just they all sort of spawned from someone we met growing up in St. John's.
No, but I'm telling you, I mean, I didn't grow up in St. John's, but there was a lot of stuff that is, I can relate to just from growing up in Canada. People waiting for the welfare check, cashing it in and then spending it on cases of 2-4 or, it was just, there was a lot of really, really iconic Canadian stuff there. What's that?
Check Day, they call it in
That's
St.
right,
John's.
Check Day. Okay.
Yeah, that's a thing. I mean, I guess that connects across the country. That sort of stuff.
There's so much stuff in there that does. I think so. How was the movie received in Newfoundland?
We sold out Sobey Square for the first time since what movie? Frozen. Frozen was the last time Sobey Square sold out. I mean, we sold it out.
I think someone that worked at Sobey Square came up to Leon and goes,
Sobey Square is a movie.
Yeah.
Movie theater. Yeah.
She came up to Leon and she goes, "Haven't sold out since Frozen."
But we got the new record, hey? Still holding it.
It couldn't get held over until if the sales weren't. It was one of those. I think they had to wait until see what the sales were like for a couple of days, and then they would hold it over. So what would happen is we'd continue to get a notice saying it's held over for a couple more days, and it's held over for a couple more days. So
I think it got a few months there. But I think the very first time it played in Newfoundland was the opening night of the Women's Film Festival. That was Holy Heart, and it was packed.
That was fun,
and that was like that was a huge night. And then we did the movie tour, as Leon pointed out earlier, which went pretty much across the entire country, and then ended in Newfoundland. It didn't end there. We had to go back to New Brunswick. But anyway, it played there, and then it played for I think probably 2 to 3 months, maybe after.
Wow.
I guess, but I'm not on the ground. These guys can probably tell you, what kind of reception.
I remember when it played at Sobey Square, there was a lady, there was a couple sitting in front of me, and when it got to the scene where it was the morning scene, and they panned over, it was all of us asleep, and I'm next to Versace, and I think I got like a blanket over me, and I guess it's alluding to that we spent the night together, and she turned around and just looked at me really slowly. You skank. It broke her heart.
Yeah, that's funny.
Has it sold out since Frozen?
And then they came out of the movie theater with like a big bag of empties, like a big garbage bag full.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
Right, it was no drinking. And then as we went along, we were like asking theaters, like, so can we get what was it, open bar or what's it called, liquor license, something? Every show we'd make sure that we could drink beer in the theater.
Oh yeah. We checked we'd make sure that they'd let us drink beer in the theater. I think near the end.
After that, it didn't really matter.
What did someone bring you at the St. John's premiere at the theaters?
I think there was one in New Brunswick, or maybe it was Antigonish. They brought me like a really expensive bottle of Jameson's.
But there was one that brought you, like, I think they brought you funny food in Newfoundland, like a bag of chicken wings or something, or
What, at one of the showings, like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember something about it. Someone brought me a bunch of different funny stuff. I remember it. Yeah.
It was something to do with having a time. I don't know. They brought like a bag of chicken wings.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Probably
Yeah.
Salt beef.
Yeah. Oh, so
salt
maybe it was a bucket. Oh, you had to sign a bucket of salt beef.
Yeah.
I signed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Two things.
But yeah. It was. But I think the reception's good. I don't know. If you guys walk the streets there, have people told you it's shit? Have people told you the movie's garbage, or is it okay?
Nobody recognizes me at all unless I'm with him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when I'm with Leon, I can, it happens, but they know him right away. So, and they always love him. So
yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna come up and tell you anything you do is garbage. But
Well, so.
they're not telling you no.
No.
And what are you guys doing now? I mean, Nik, you've been busy with shows, and you finished a feature recently, right?
I did. This hour is 22 minutes. I worked on that for this season, and I'm working on something for the Tokyo Olympics with my friend Mark Sakamoto. He's doing some pieces for those guys, and
Hang on a second, Sakamoto.
No relation to the bike.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The bike's named after him. Yeah, I remember.
Is that where the name came from?
Yeah, Mark Sakamoto.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we take little bits of everything and sprinkle it on.
Nice.
All about the sprinkles.
It's all about the sprinkles. Yeah. But yeah, that's all. I'm doing that, and then hoping to make a feature with in Newfoundland this year called Skeet with Sean, who played Faded Freddy, and then hopefully these two can be part of that as well when I get down there. Yeah. So those are my plans.
Well, what about you, Leon?
I'm keeping it relevant with the old social media and stuff. I got a little. I'm working on a cooking show. It's going to be called Cooked, Baked, and Fried. So trying to get that on the go, and
I want to see that.
Lots of merchandise and stuff, and I'm doing little appearances, and I do like birthday shout outs and stuff with Zoom calls from sheds and all kinds of different stuff. So kept busy with it, and just working with a couple of people trying to get to the next level now with this cooking show, and it should be fun. We're gonna hopefully have a few people drop by. There's going to be like special guests and stuff, and recipes with ingredients from all around town, trying to keep it local and stuff. So it should be fun. So we're just in the middle of working on that. So hopefully we'll be able to shoot something in the next 2 weeks or so.
Is that something that's going to be online or on cable TV or?
For now, we're just doing our own thing just to get a couple episodes done, and then we'll have something to pitch or something to show for it. Other than that, social media and YouTube.
I would really like to see that show.
Awesome.
That big show. Yeah.
Great idea. Leon's. I think we can all agree that Leon's passion for Dumphy's passion for cooking is out of this world. So it's like when he said cook, was it cooked, baked, and fried?
Cooked, baked, and fried.
Yeah. It's just a great idea.
Perfect. Yeah.
So we'll have like cannabis infusions and all kinds of different stuff. So trying to keep it fun. Lots of local sponsors and stuff. Like Jiffy Cabs is a local cab company. So we're going to send off. We got a guy that's going to be like staying on the couch. He's paying his Airbnb in a little spot on my couch. So he's going to be my little tester and my push pin fella. I can make fun of him and he can tell stories, all that kind of stuff, play off him and get him to go deliver food in cabs to people's houses and maybe local celebrities and stuff like that, right? So we're just going to keep it funny is the main thing, short, sweet, and funny, and keep her going.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
What about you, Gina?
I'm just concentrating on my audition tape for Cooked, Baked, and Fried. So, you know, yeah, hopefully that'll amount to something.
Yeah.
No, I'm a regular 9 to 5. And I haven't really, you know, from time to time, even like today when Nik was telling me about this, you know, all of us getting together, I was really excited because I don't really get to come back into this world too often. So, and it's something that I love, and some of my best memories, and made some of my best friends. So it's, not something I'm opposed to, but it was, like I said, Brenda was a character that was kind of just brought from, I guess, Nik's imagination, really, and I just kind of went along for the ride. So I'm just doing my regular.
Well, I think you guys were honestly all blessed, like to have a whole group of people come together, spend that amount of time together, have fun every day, create something, is something that's gonna like live with you forever, right? It's gonna be one of those memories that is like the memories. So. You're lucky to have had a chance to experience that, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a testament that 15 years later, the three of us can be on a Zoom call and still laugh.
Yeah. And if we're ever in the same city together, look out.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Guys, I'm gonna close it out here. I want to thank you again so much for allowing us to screen this movie, and then for joining me on this chat. It was really awesome to talk with you guys. My cheeks seriously hurt from laughing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good evening. I'm headed to George Street now. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Have fun, buddy.
Later, guys.